So today I want to explore a more yoga practice that's not on the hands. All right. So yoga can be a lot on the hands and it doesn't have to be. So I want to kind of show you all how to explore practicing not on the hands as much. We will do a little bit like having the hands on the ground, but not a ton. Okay. So know that when you do any yoga practice, you don't have to, do the movements that might be shown in the video or however the instructor is doing it. There's different ways to practice. So not a ton on the hands today, but we will be on our backs doing some Pilates and still, incorporating some, sun salutations in a way that's not so much on the hands. So with that, if you have blocks, if you have a chair, feel free to grab it. And then let's go ahead and get started on our backs. So find any supine position that feels good. Take up as much space as you like. Maybe let the arms and the legs go long. You can even bend the legs if that feels good. But take up some space. Maybe open and close the mouth. Draw the shoulder blades underneath you. And let yourself arrive. Let yourself kind of be here in your space. You can even connect with your external world to start. Kind of being aware of any outside distractions, any sounds, movements, even smells, acknowledging that they're there in the background. And then if you would like, maybe start to bring awareness to your internal world, checking in with the body, maybe seeing how you feel. Starting to relax from the toes up into the legs, the low back, the belly, relaxing the shoulders, the arms, the fingertips, and then relaxing through the face. Maybe open and close the mouth, wiggle out the jaw. But starting to feel the ground underneath you, supporting you, giving the body permission to relax, to soften, to let go. And then if it feels right, always an option to connect with the breath, or maybe explore connecting with the heartbeat. No need to change the breath or alter it, just starting to feel that nice rise and fall of maybe the chest, of the belly. And when we create awareness internally and kind of feel the breath, feel the heartbeats, it can give us the opportunity to adjust. Maybe you want to slow things down. Or maybe connecting with the breath does the opposite this morning. Maybe it kind of picks up the pace, maybe feels a little more stress. So if that's the case, being aware and help you let go of the technique. And then always an option to set a focal point or an intention for your practice. Maybe the focal point is the breath. Coming back to the breath at any point to help you reconnect with the body, to help you reconnect with the present moment. Or maybe there's a word, a phrase that serves you. And if nothing comes to mind, I offer up the phrase of letting go. We all have this inner critic, kind of this voice in our head that may tell us we are not good enough. So today, maybe being aware of the inner critic or being aware of any high expectations, judgments, comparisons that you are putting on yourselves and giving you permission to let them go. You can even use the breath here as you inhale, saying to yourself mentally, let. As you exhale, saying to yourself mentally, go. So if you have a focal point, an intention, feel free to set it now. You can always hold it at the third eye, the space between your eyebrows, this place of inner wisdom, coming back to it whenever you need to. And then we'll seal it in with a couple rounds of breath. So if it feels right, take a deep inhale in through the nose, filling up with your intention, whatever it may be. Find gratitude for it. And then slow and steady open mouth exhale, share it off, let it go. One more deep inhale, fill the belly, the chest. Maybe hold the breath at the top. Feel the heartbeats. And then open mouth exhale, let it go. And then you can let your breath come back to your rhythm, your pace, maybe in and out through the nose. But then when you are ready, you can slowly start to reawaken. Maybe wiggle the fingers, the toes, gently roll the ankles, the wrists. Maybe start to make the movements a little bit bigger. If you're laying on your back, maybe a full body stretch, good morning stretch, extend the arms, the legs, take some wiggles. And then you can start to bend the legs, maybe feet stay on the ground and you explore gently swaying the knees side to side, see how that feels. Or you can draw the knees to the chest, grab at the thighs or the shins, and same thing, take some organic movements. Maybe saying hi to the low back, giving it a little massage here, rocking side to side. And then we're going to roll to the left side. So coming onto the left side, kind of like a fetal position. You can let the left side of your face rest on a pillow or maybe onto the ground. And then bring your arms off to the side. And you kind of explore some spinal rotation. So as you inhale, gently reach your top arm, for me, the right arm to the ceiling. Stay here, or as you exhale, maybe explore some thoracic mobility, feeling the ribs turn to the right. And then inhale, reach your right arm back to the ceiling. Exhale, coming back down. So feel free to go at your own pace, kind of exploring some rotation here. But as you explore, right, really being aware, making sure you're not pulling from the low back or maybe arching from the low back, kind of compensating there to help you twist. And just see if you can gently turn the ribs to the right, right? Focusing on mobility at your thoracic spine, the T-spine, the mid-spine, instead of moving from your lumbar spine, your low back. And then one more. And then option to stay with the twist. So kind of find some stillness here. Maybe you want to gently lift the left shoulder to make a little more room for the right. But no, the right shoulder does not have to touch the ground. I like to keep the right shoulder strong by maybe reaching the right armpit slowly, gently towards the ground. And then as you inhale, think about growing tall through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, maybe you explore the twist. One more big inhale. Slow exhale. Good, and then take your time, slowly roll back to the left side. And then you can use your left arm as a pillow here. And we're going to do some hip work today and kind of turn on the glutes a little bit. So clamshell. So the feet will stay together. And then as you inhale, lift the top knee to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, slowly come back down. So inhale, lift. Exhale, come back down. So very similar when we're in tabletop position and doing this in that position. Sometimes I call it fire hydrant pose. So working on rotating the hip externally and finding our glutes to support the hip in that movement, in that action. Maybe two more. Keep the front ribs joined in, core is engaged. Last one. Good, and then take your time, slowly roll back onto the belly, or not the belly, excuse me, onto the back. And then keep the legs bent, feet are flat on the ground. And we'll take some pelvic tilts. So maybe you grab the pelvis, but just gently explore rocking the pelvis forward and back. And I don't want you to go too far, right? Just a little rock. I'm not finding some extension, flexion of the spine, but also using this to help us find neutral. So you're not arching your low back or smashing your low back into the ground. Find that middle position, a neutral position. And then hands can rest on the belly, or arms can come off to the side. And then we're going to explore some core work, explore our imprint position. So when you're ready, take a breath, inhale. As you exhale, imprint, bottom 2 ribs, pelvis pull towards the belly button, feel your core engage, low back is grounded, supported, and then exhale, release. So fire up the core, big inhale, exhale, imprints, hug it in, hold here, inhale, breath, and then exhale, slowly release. Couple more, inhale, prepare, exhale, imprint, bottom ribs, pelvis pull to the belly, hold for the inhale, exhale, release, inhale, breath, exhale, imprint, hold for the inhale, exhale, release. Good, last one, inhale, exhale, imprint, and then see if you can hold here and breathe through it. So just find your breath, but feel your core muscles engaged, right? And feel this length, this support happening in the low back. Soften the jaw, beautiful work. Last inhale, and then exhale, release. Awesome work. Now option 4, some hip rolls. So draw the heels down. And then as you inhale, gently roll your hips, low back, mid back off the ground, coming onto the shoulder blades. And then exhale, roll on to the mid back, low back, back to the glutes. So just a couple rolling yourself up and off the ground. Last one. Good, awesome work. Now we're gonna go to the other side. So same thing, spinal rotation. So we're gonna lay on the right side, stack the hips, arms can go off to the side, head is rested on the ground, maybe a pillow. But as you inhale, top arm, left arm reaches to the ceiling, exhale, maybe twist. Inhale, come back up, exhale, come back down. So feel free to move at your own pace. And as you move, keep the hips stacked. And think about moving from your thoracic spine, the mid spine, the ribs. So feeling the ribs rotate to the left instead of the lumbar spine. So you want to keep your lumbar spine very stable here and work on your T-spine mobility. Maybe one more. And then you can stick with the movement or feel free to hold your twist. And remember the left shoulder, try not to force it to the ground. Maybe you wiggle the right shoulder blade underneath you, but keep the shoulder strong. Feel your shoulder blade flat on the back body by maybe reaching your armpit towards the mat. And then same thing, feel the ribs reaching to the left. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back up and then back to the right side. Again, maybe use your right arm as a pillow, coming into clam shell. So feet will stay together. And then as you inhale, lift the top knee, exhale, come back down. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. So feel your hip rotating externally. And then also, feel your glute muscle, kind of the abductor muscles, your outer thigh turning on to help you rotate the hip. Last 3. Good, last 2. Last 1. Awesome work. And then take your time, roll back onto the back, head. And then from here, maybe knees to chest, maybe a full body stretch, whatever feels right, reset. And then we're going to come into some core work, keeping with the Pilates work here, and then we'll give our core break. So feet are flat on the ground, okay? Neutral spine, arms can be off at the side. Now we're going to come into ab prep. So you're going to lift the head and the shoulder blades off the ground and reach for the heels. If you need to, place your Pilates ball or blanket underneath the head, or keep your head on the ground and more supported and just focus on imprint. So making sure you keep the neck supported. If it doesn't feel right, skip it. So when you're ready, take an inhale. As you exhale, ab prep, reach for the heels, little tuck of the chin, hold for your inhale, make sure you're in imprint position, and then exhale back down. And this is where you can start to blow out of a straw. So here we go, inhale, exhale, ab prep, hold for the inhale, little tuck of the chin, exhale, lower. Inhale, breath, exhale, reach, hold for the inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, breath, exhale, reach, hold, big inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, breath. Exhale, reach. Hold. Exhale, lower. Good. Adding hundreds prep if you like. Take an inhale. Exhale, ab prep, reach, and then inhale, pump the arms, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. So starting to use the shoulder muscles here as we stabilize by using our core. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, big inhale. Exhale, release. Woo, awesome job. Option 4, hip roll. Draw the heels down. Roll yourself off the mat. Find some space in the front body. And then slowly roll yourself back down. Good. If you like shell position, knees can come to the chest. Gently rock. Good. All right. Now, last one we're going to do on our back. And we're going to kind of do this fast. We're going to do a round of single leg stretch and then take it right into obliques. Okay, so bicycle crunches. And so kind of combining lifting the head, but now also lifting the legs. All right. So interlace the hands behind the head, elbows wide. And remember, you can just do the legs if needed. Okay, now make sure an imprint position, bottom ribs, pelvis pull to the belly, and then right knee will pull in, left leg will go long. Okay, take a breath, stay here. This is going to be harder, or start to grab for the right shin. Okay, single leg stretch. Forehead can reach to the knee, low back is grounded. Here we go. Take a breath, inhale, exhale, switch, exhale, switch, switch. So feel free to go at your own pace. If you have those hands behind the head, it's going to be harder, right? The hands on the shin can give you more support. Find the honest one that feels best for you. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Right leg pulls back in. Interlace the hands behind the head. Now left elbow to the knee. Here we go. Big inhale. Exhale, switch. Bicycle crunches. Switch. Switch. Finding your obliques. Think of your ribs pulling to the opposite thigh. If you feel fatigued, if the core is starting to give out and the low back is arching, take a rest. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Both knees pull in. Big inhale. Squeeze it all together. Good. Exhale, release. Woo. There we go. Nice and warm. Heels draw down. Hip roll. Roll yourself up. Find some space in the front body. Maybe open and close the mouth. And then coming back down to the mat. Knees can come to the chest. Gently rock side to side. Now we're going to come up to a seated position. So if you want to just roll to one side and press yourself up, go for it. In Pilates, they start to roll like a ball. So if you want to explore it here, hands behind the thighs, kind of pull the knees to the chest. You can use momentum here and then kind of start to rock forward and back. And the reason why I said you can use momentum is because this will kind of help you explore the movements. And I also don't want you to rock on the neck or the head. Okay. So just kind of exploring. Once you feel like you want to explore rolling like a ball, you're going to start to take momentum out of it and use your core. Maybe one more. Kind of fun. Feel like you're a kid again. Have some fun with it. And then when you're ready, release. Seated position. Awesome work. Shake it out. Whew. Roll the shoulders up and down. Maybe roll the head and the neck. Good. And then we're going to do a little bit of seated stretching and then we'll come to standing. So if you have a strap, you're more than welcome to use it here. But seated forward fold. Big hamstring stretch to start. So if you want, strap can go around the feet. But when you're ready, take an inhale, find length, bend your knees as much as needed. And then as you exhale, hinge at the hips, maybe walk the hands forward or gently start to pull on the strap. Okay, relax the shoulders away from the ears, maybe open and close the mouth. And you can flex the toes towards your face. Maybe think about reaching the heels away, finding space in the back of the legs, maybe into your low back. First big stretch, so give your hamstrings some love, maybe bend the knees, big inhale. Maybe you fold as you exhale. Good, and then slowly start to bring yourself back up to seated. Awesome work, shake it out. And then we're gonna take, I call it seated tree. So you can bend the right leg, bring the sole of your foot to the inner thigh. Okay, so right hip is rotated off to the side. And then kind of turn your torso over the left leg. And use your strap if you want here as well. Take an inhale, heart lifts. And then as you exhale, hinge at the hips. Maybe walk the hands forward, reach your heart towards the top of the left foot. Bend into the left knee as needed. So find a spot where you can breathe space into the back of the left leg. Shoulders soft away from the ears. Take an inhale. Slow exhale. Now, option to stay here or side body variation. Left arm can come to the inner left thigh. Gently press the two together. And then inhale, reach your right arm up and overhead. Feel the right hip rooted down to the ground as you reach through the right fingertips. Now be aware, right? See if you're kind of flaring the front ribs. Keep your front ribs pulling in. So the core is still active so you don't overarch into the low back. Instead, focusing on lengthening the right side. Beautiful work. Take an inhale. Maybe reach up and over as you exhale. And when you're ready, slowly come back up. Awesome job. Same thing other side. Seated tree. Extending the opposite leg from me, the right leg, sole of the left foot to the inner thigh. Maybe strap goes around the right foot, but start to turn the torso towards the right leg. Take an inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, hinge forward. And the goal here is not to touch the toes, but the intention is to lengthen the back of the right leg. So let yoga meet you where you're at today. Find that variation in your body. Option to flex your toes towards the face, maybe reaching through the right heel. Shoulders soft, take a breath. Maybe you fold with the exhale. And then option to stay here or side body. Right arm can come to the inner thigh, maybe gently press the two together. Left hip is grounded. Left arm reaches up and overhead. And finding space between the ribs, stretching out your intercostal muscles, maybe into the left side of your low back as well. But keep your front ribs pulling in. It's a little lift of the heart. And the same thing. Let the pose meet you where you're at today, where you can find space in the left side. Letting go of any expectation. Big inhale. Reach with the exhale. And then slowly coming back up. Ooh, awesome job. Beautiful work. All right. So we're going to come into standing. Okay. Like I said, we're going to kind of stay off the hands today. So make your way into a standing position at the top of your mat. If you have blocks or a chair, you're more than welcome to use them. So kind of sun salutations, kind of, some people call these like a moon salute. So a little bit different to make sure you have what you need at the top of your mat. We'll start into Tadasana mountain pose. So you can kind of rock the weight forward and back. Try to keep the weight even between the front of the foot and the back of the foot. And then feel a nice grounded position. Pelvis is underneath you. Soften the shoulders back. Lifting from the crown of the head, but making sure you're not flaring those front ribs. Feel grounded, but feel strength from within to lift up. Take a breath. Slow exhale. And then inhale, extended mountain pose. Arms can reach forward, maybe overhead. Try not to flare the front ribs. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Bending into the knees, nice flat back. Ride the breath all the way down to the ground. So keep a bend in the knees, maybe a little lift from the sit bones. And then as you inhale, halfway lift. Palms can come to your shins, the blocks, maybe to the seat of the chair. But think of a neutral position and start to really engage your core muscles. Pull the front ribs in, gaze to the toes, shoulder blades down the spine. Now, a little different. Take an inhale. As you exhale, left foot will step back. Maybe take the blocks with you, and then option to come onto the left knee. Kneeling lunge, Anjaneyasana. So feet are at least hip width distance. You can always take your right foot wide if you like. That gives you more space. But right away, pull your feet towards one another, squaring the hips. And then you can stay here or slowly rise, maybe hands to heart or reach the arms overhead. So try to find some space here in the front of the left hip. So pull the feet towards one another, right hip back, left hip forward, front ribs in. Now we're going to add the side body stretch here. So squeeze your left glute, take an inhale. As you exhale, right hand to hip, left hand reaches up and over. Find space from the hip all the way into the armpit. Keep reaching your right hip back. Beautiful work. And then as you inhale, slowly rise back up, arms to the ceiling, and then exhale, half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Hands to your blocks, maybe the ground, and then slide your right foot forward, flexing your right toes towards the face. So another hamstring stretch, but same principles apply. Right hip is reaching back, right toes are flexed, heart is reaching towards the top of your foot. And then take an inhale, maybe start to bend at the elbows, hold as you exhale. One more breath. Soften with the exhale. Good. Now planting into the right foot, tuck the back toes, lifting the knee, coming back to a low lunge position. Great place to use your blocks here. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, left foot meets the right step, top of your mat. Shake it out. Halfway lift, palms to shins, the blocks, gaze to the toes, back of the neck is long, and then exhale, fold, release. Keep a bend in the knees. Inhale, rise, nice flat back as you come up, extended mountain pose to Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart or off to the side, Samasthiti, standing at attention. Front ribs, pull them in, take a breath, soften as you exhale. Good, same thing other side. Inhale, rise, extended to Tadasana, finding a nice moving meditation here at first. Exhale, forward fold, bend into the knees, ride your breath down. Inhale, halfway lift. Great place to use your blocks or a chair. Hands can always come to the shins. Now as you exhale, right foot will step back. If you need to, maybe widen the stance, and then slowly come onto the right knee. Right away, pull your feet towards one another. Left heel is reaching back as the right knee reaches forward. Stay here or inhale, rise up. Anjaneyasana, kneeling lunge. So try to find some space here in the front of the right hip. Okay, so left hip is reaching back, right hip is reaching forward, breathing into the front of the thigh and into the front of the hip. Now find a focal point on front of you. This can be a little tricky balancing. And then option for the side body stretch. Take an inhale. As you exhale, left hand to hip, right hand can reach up and over, finding space in the right ribs. Front ribs, keep them in. And then as you inhale, slowly reach the arms back high. Exhale, half splits. Hands to your blocks, to the chair, to the ground. And then you're going to reach your left heel forward. You want to keep the hips on top of the back knee. And then flex your left toes towards the face. Hands can walk back, they can walk forward, find a spot that feels really supportive. Bend into the left knee as much as you need to, especially if you don't have blocks and you feel like you're here, right? Find support, bend the knee, hands to the ground, and just reach your left hip back. You're still going to find stretch in the hamstring, length in the hamstring. One more breath, inhale. Maybe you fold as you exhale. Good, and then taking your time, coming back to your lunge, bending into the left leg, plant the foot, lift the back knee, and then big inhale, exhale, forward fold, right foot meets the left, stepping top of the mat. Good, inhale, halfway lift, use your core, front ribs, pull them in, exhale, fold, release. Keep a bend in the knees, root down, rise up, big inhale, extend it to Tadasana. And then exhale, hands to heart, pull it in. Whew. Maybe thumbs connect with the heart, feeling the heartbeats. See if you can slow it down. Good, so we're gonna do that one breath, one movement, finding this nice moving meditation. And this is a great way to build some heat in the body, great way to unite, to connect the mind and the body to work as one. So you can stick at my pace, you can go slower, you can go faster, right? Make it unique to what you need. So when you're ready, inhale, rise, extend it to Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift, long, neutral, strong spine. Left foot steps back, exhale, Anjaneyasana, come onto the left knee. Pull the feet in, inhale, reach the arms overhead. Good, stay here or big inhale breath. Exhale, maybe side body stretch, reach to the right. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, half splits, hands to the blocks. Slide your right heel forward and start to fold on top of the right leg. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Coming back forward, low lunge position, tuck the back toes. Create space here. Big inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot meets the right. Shake it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rising up, keep a bend in the knees. Inhale, extend it to Tadasana. And then exhale, hands to heart, Samasthiti. Take a breath. Slow exhale. Good. Lastly, other side. Take a rest when needed. No judgment. Inhale, rise. Extend it to Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Bow to your body. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Right foot, step it back. Slowly coming onto the right knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Arms can reach high. Good. Maybe you stay here. Exhale, side body stretch, reaching to the left. Left hand to hip, right arm overhead. Inhale, reaching back up. Exhale, half splits, hands to your blocks. Slide your left heel forward. Take a breath here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, coming back forward, low lunge position. Take up space. And then exhale, forward fold, right foot meets the left. Shake it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Keep a bend in the knees. Root down, rise up, big inhale, extend it to Tadasana. And then exhale, hands to heart, pull it in. And maybe gaze to the fingertips, maybe thumbs connect with the heart. Feel the breath, the heartbeat, right? A lot of sympathetic work, a lot of work in the stressful states. So see if you can take your body out of that state by slowing the breath down. And also too, being aware of any chatter, any noise, and see if you need to let it go. Deep inhale, maybe an open mouth exhale. Good, awesome work. All right, we're gonna slow it down a little bit, explore some warrior postures, and then we'll do some Pilates work with some balance today. So I'm gonna face the other way just so I can face you all, but warrior two. So right foot will stay forward and start to step your left foot back, Virabhadrasana 2. So right toes pointing to the front, left toes pointing diagonally, and then start to lift from the inner right thigh to help you rotate your hip externally. Very similar to what we did in that clamshell position. Now hands can stay at the hips, they can come to the heart, right? Great way to help relax the shoulders. Or if you want to work the shoulders, maybe warrior two arms, bring them parallel with the mat. And see those shoulder heads reach into the ears, try to relax them back. Make sure you're not locking the left knee, keep a little bend and pull your feet towards center. Say hi to your inner thighs. Feel strong, feel powerful. Big inhale, soften with the exhale. Now we're gonna work the legs, do a little bit of lunging here. So as you inhale, high triangle, straighten through the right leg, maybe arms go to the ceiling, maybe palms to touch, take up space. And then as you exhale back to warrior two, reconnecting with the lunge. Maybe moving with the breath here, full body work. Big inhale, high triangle, take up space. Exhale, warrior two. Good, maybe two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior two. Good, one more. Big inhale. Big exhale. Good, now option 4, reverse warrior. So keep the lunge, flip the right palm, left hand can go to the back thigh, reach your right arm up and overhead. So once again, stretching up the right side. Reach your shin forward, lift from the right hip. We'll give the shoulders a break in a second. Beautiful work, big inhale. Back to warrior two as you exhale. Now 5 points are, right toes will pivot in, taking up space here. And then the hands can come to the hips, okay? Keep your front ribs in, so core is engaged as you transition down to the ground. Take an inhale. As you exhale, maybe you bend into the knees, hinging at the hips, wide-legged forward fold, come all the way down. Great place to use your blocks, maybe underneath the hands, or hands can come to the ground. But don't be afraid to adjust the feet, make your stance longer, shorter. So just keep the toes slightly turned in, heels out. Maybe find some side lunges here. Give your inner thigh some love, kind of going side to side. You can always hang out here, let gravity do the work, shake the head yes, shake it no. Gently shift the weight forward, find a little lift from your sit bones, your butt bones to lengthen the back body. One more breath. Stay for the exhale. Good. Now, hands will come underneath the shoulders. Think of like a halfway lift here. So a halfway lift helps us engage our core so we can, move from a very strong neutral position. So front ribs, pull them in. Hands can come to the hips. And then as you inhale, slowly coming back up to your 5-point star. Okay, so using your core to lift up, not your low back. Maybe reach the arms, big inhale, and then warrior 2 to the other side. So pivot your left toes to the back of your mat. Start to bend into the left knee. If you need to, adjust the back foot. Maybe make the stance longer. Maybe you need to adjust where the toes are pointed. But find your position on this side. Starting to rotate the hip externally, lifting from the inner thigh, and then pull your feet into center. Hands at hips to heart, or maybe once again, warrior 2 arms. Relax the shoulders. Maybe gaze over the front middle finger. You should feel your leg muscles working. Try not to overgrip the toes. So maybe soften the toes a little bit. And then one more time, working full body here, legs, shoulders, everything. So as you inhale, maybe high triangle, straightening through the left leg. Maybe reach up to the sky, maybe palms to touch. Exhale, warrior 2, recommitting to the lunge. Moving meditation, big inhale, high triangle. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Beautiful work. 2 more. Inhale. Slow exhale. Last time, big inhale, breath. Exhale, warrior 2. Good. Now reverse warrior. Flip your left palm, reach it up and back. Right hand can go down the thigh, but lift from the hip. Try to relax your left shoulder. Find space in your left ribs. Maybe even gaze to the back foot. Good. One more big inhale. And then exhale back to warrior 2. Good. Now from here, you can find your 5-point star, left toes in. So I'm just going to heel toe my feet together, circle my hands to heart. Some people like to hop the feet together. You can have fun with it. But coming back to Tadasana, mountain pose, back to standing. Good. Awesome job. All right. So we've been working the hips a little different today with clamshell and like warrior 2, finding a lot of extra rotation. So lastly, a little bit of balance. So if you want, grab a chair, move to a wall. And we're going to do tree pose. And then I'm going to give you the option to find more of like an active tree, or in yoga, it's kind of called half goddess. Okay, so we've been working like this rotation and angle in the hip and the knee today. So a little more supportive and then maybe a little more active, kind of bringing some of the Pilates work into a balanced position today. So first, tree pose, Vrikshasana. So grab onto your left foot. Maybe you grab for the chair or the wall, and then right foot can come to the inner side of your left ankle and shin. So right now my toes are on the ground. Maybe I slide my foot up a little bit to lift the toes, but no, you can keep the toes there. Now, just so you can kind of see, I don't want you to pop your hip off to the side, right? And kind of hang out in the hip. So I'm just kind of over exaggerating it, but like popping my hip off to the side. Hug your hip in, squeeze your left glute, strong leg. Now, about moving the right knee, can you think about reaching the right knee away from you? Maybe creating some space in the inner thigh, and also working the backside of the glute. Very similar to clamshell. Now find that focal point out in front of you. Feel the leg kind of shaking, the ankle. Know those stabilizing muscles are turning on to support you. Take a breath. Stay for the exhale. Good, last inhale. And then exhale, release. Awesome job, shake it out. Maybe roll the left ankle. Beautiful work. Now, same thing on the other side, okay? So right foot will be grounded, tree pose, Vrikshasana. Left foot can come to the inside. Maybe keep your toes on the ground. Maybe start to slide your foot up towards more of the shin. All right, see if you're poking your hip off to the side. Squeeze your right glutes, using your glute muscles to support the pelvis, the hips. And then maybe explore your left knee drawing away. Say hi to the left hip, the inner thigh. Any variation with the arms. Maybe find a focal point of Jiristi out in front of you. Squeeze the right glutes. If you fall, right, get right back up and maybe come right back in. Balance can teach us that we can fall, we can fail, and try again. Take a breath. And then exhale, release. Awesome job. Shake it out. Woo. All right. So no judgment from me, no judgment from you. Feel free to take rest and skip this second round. Feel free to stick with tree pose. You can even come down to the ground and take seated tree if you want to as well, okay? So in yoga, like I said, it's kind of like an active tree position or half goddess, okay? So maybe left hand to the wall or to the chair, and then start to lift the right knee, and right away, right hand can come to your right shin. So one-legged Tadasana, and then squeeze your left glute, flex your right toes. If you're not using the chair, hand can come to the hip, left hand. Okay, now maybe you stay here. Maybe this is enough. This is really hard, so be kind to yourself, or take an inhale. As you exhale, maybe start to open up, sending the right knee to the right side. Squeeze your left glute, flex your right toes. Not easy. If you want the challenge today, you could always release the right hand and maybe hands to heart. Feel that hip flexor working. Lifting your right knee to the ceiling. This is so hard. Last breath. Stay for the exhale. And then inhale, slowly come back to one-legged, pulling the right leg back in. And then exhale, release. Good, shake it out. Woo! It can always go another level. Great work. All right, other side, and then we'll stretch it out. So ground down through the right foot. Maybe right hand comes to the wall, to the chair. And then left leg will lift, left hand can come to your shin. So one-legged Tadasana, squeeze your right glute, use those glute muscles, flex your left toes to keep the left leg active and strong. And keep a little bend in the right knee, try not to lock it. A little bend will help you engage your core muscles, your glutes. And then you can stay here, no judgment. Find a Jiristi, a focal point out in front of you, something that's not moving, or take an inhale. And then as you exhale, kind of opening up, finding that tree goddess variation. Squeeze your right glute, breathe into the inner thigh, flex your left toes. Maybe laugh at yourself if you fall out. Remind yourself it's just yoga, just Pilates. We're not here for perfection. Maybe release the left hand, say hi to your hip flexor, front ribs in, take an inhale, stay for the exhale. And then as you inhale, slowly coming back to one-legged Tadasana, and then exhale, release. Woo! Awesome job. Shake it off. Beautiful, beautiful work. All right. So meeting at the top of your mat, Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to take a sun salutation. We're going to take one down dog. So feel free to skip. It'll be the only thing we kind of do on our hands today. But when you're ready, Tadasana, and then take a big inhale, extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Let it all go. Whatever happened, whatever didn't happen. Inhale, halfway lifts. Find length. And then exhale, option for Adho Mukha, downward facing dog, hands to the mat, step, walk the feet back. And feel free to explore a little bit, maybe cut out the legs, shake the head yes, shake it no. Tabletop child's pose is there as well. But first one, and this one's at the end of the class. So maybe see how it feels. The body is nice and warm. But if needed, keep it bent in the knees. Press the hands down.
Take an inhale. Slow exhale. And then option for pigeon pose or figure four. For pigeon, start to bend into the right knee and then bring your right knee to the right wrist. Ankle kicks over to the left and then slide your left leg long behind you. Left toes will point to the back wall. You can always gaze behind the right shoulder. We have some space underneath the right hip. Maybe you grab a blanket or a pillow and kind of just place it underneath you, bringing support there to keep the hips squared. And then your choice, you can stay here, or maybe you slowly lower onto the forearms. Maybe your forehead comes to your fist or the block. And two, if pigeon pose isn't feeling right today, figure four on your back is there, crossing the edge of your right foot to the left thigh. But we'll take about 5 rounds of breath here. A lot of work in the glutes, the outer hip area. So take some time to bring the body back into balance. Checking with the shoulders, the jaw, the fingertips. And especially if you're in pigeon pose, see if you are over clenching your glute muscles. And as always, being aware of what's happening in the body. Seeing if you need to adjust the shape of the body where you're at, but also being aware of the chatter, the noise. Seeing if you're holding on to anything. Seeing if you need to let it go, especially if it brings you harm. Take an inhale. Soften with your exhale. And then you're more than welcome to stay as long as you need it. When you are ready, you can slowly come out. If you're in pigeon pose, maybe pressing back up to the hands, kind of tucking the left toes to lift the hips, creating some space. Maybe back to down dog or tabletop. Feel free to take a little counter stretch, reset. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Come on, let's go. Come on. Sorry, my dog wants to come out. Come on, let's go. Come on. So for pigeon pose, left knee will come to the left wrist. Come on, Gunner, let's go. Come on. The left knee will come to the left wrist for pigeon. Ankle will kick over to the right. Slide your right leg long. If you're already there, ignore everything I'm saying, but find your pigeon, maybe slide a block or something underneath the left hip. Maybe you lower down to the ground, or maybe you come onto your back for figure four. Right? The left, right side bodies are not the same. And we can be aware of that. And then maybe kind of change some habits, right? Seeing if we maybe overuse one side and trying to create that balance in the body. So no need to judge it. We'll take about 5 rounds of breath here, finding some release, some space in the left hip and the left glute. And then check in with those tension areas, the fingers, the shoulders, the jaws, maybe even the glutes. See if you can relax. And as you soften in the body, can you also start to soften in the mind? Awareness can help us let go. We're more aware of the thoughts we have, more aware of the chatter, and using that awareness to determine if it brings us joy or if it holds us back. And then taking action, whether that's adjusting, letting go, or holding on to it. Take a breath, deep inhale, slow exhale. Good. And then if you would like one more down dog, you're more than welcome to go there. Maybe a tabletop, but we will meet on our backs. Awesome work. If you have a block or a Pilates ring or a ball, you're more than welcome to grab it. But take your time in making your way onto your back. So we didn't really do a lot of back work. So let's explore some back body strengthening with bridge pose today. So we're gonna do 2 rounds. First round, option to use a block or a ball, Pilates ring, and place it in between the thighs if you have one. And then the second round, we'll explore marching, or you can stick with just regular bridge, okay? So if you have a block, maybe place it between the thighs. And 2, you're more than welcome to take supported bridge, use the block, place it underneath you the whole time, take a rest, whatever feels best. But arms can be off to the side, start to reach the heels down and then roll yourself off the mat, off the glutes, the low back, the mid back. And then just holding here. So you want to engage your inner thighs by squeezing that block. If you don't have the block, you can even think about pulling the feet away from one another, but reaching the heels down, squeezing your glutes. So using the muscles on our back side to support the back bend instead of just collapsing into the low back. Maybe flip the palms face up. Think about reaching the armpits down, maybe finding some engagement through the upper back, using some stabilizing muscles to keep your shoulder blades stable on the back body. Chin is slightly off the chest, back of the neck is long, and then make sure to breathe. See the belly rise and fall. Squeeze that block. Last inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly roll yourself back down. If you have something between the thighs, release it. And then Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle pose, soles of the feet together. Knees can go wide, maybe one or both hands to heart to belly. Slow it down. Find some space in the inner thighs. Relax the shoulders. Good, and then you're more than welcome to stay here. Or when you're ready, you can slowly close your legs like a book. And then walk your feet back to about hip width distance. So if you want to march, we're going to lift one leg off the ground. It's going to be hard because I want you to try to keep your pelvis stable. So still thinking of using your back body muscles along with your inner thighs, okay? So setting up for bridge, set to Bandhasana, draw the heels down and then slowly roll yourself off the mat. Maybe start to flip the palms face up. You can even point the fingertips to the ceiling and think about pressing the elbows down. And then you're more than welcome to stay here. Or as you inhale, slowly lift the right leg to a march. Try to keep the pelvis stable, front ribs still gently drawing in. And then exhale back to bridge. Not easy, so be kind. Inhale, lift the left. Exhale, bridge. Inhale, right. Exhale, bridge. Last one, inhale, left. Exhale, bridge. Hold here. Hips are even, glutes are squeezing, heels are pressing down. Take a breath, inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly roll yourself down. Awesome work. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees can go wide, maybe one or both hands to heart. Open and close the mouth. And then take some time to find gratitude. Maybe some different things today, newer transitions, newer postures. But thank yourself for being here. Doesn't matter how it looked. What matters is that you are here, taking time out of your busy day to unite the mind and the body. Take a breath, deep inhale. Slow exhale. Good. And then slowly bring the legs together. And then you can find some movement, maybe sway the knees. If it feels good, knees can come to the chest, kind of rock. And then we'll take wind removing pose. Keep your right leg hugging in, extend the left. Give your hip flexor some love. So gently draw the right knee towards you as you gently draw the left knee away. Find some space in the front of the left hip. Maybe sway the right knee. And then feel free to stay here, or we're going to take this into a twist. Take a breath, inhale, and then exhale, supine twist. You can guide your knee over to the left. Maybe kind of draw the left hip underneath you so the hips are stacked. Right knee can hover. You can always place a block there. Maybe you adjust the left shoulder blade underneath you.
And the gaze can be up or maybe chin falls to the right. So once again, very similar to what we did in the beginning of class. Can you keep the hips stacked, the pelvis stable, low back supported, and think about the ribs turning to the right. If it feels good in the neck, maybe chin to the right side. Take a breath. Stay for the exhale. Good, and then slowly coming back to center, right knee comes to the chest. Left knee can draw in to meet the right. Give yourself a squeeze. And then other side, extend the right leg. Left leg will hug in. Wind removing pose. Maybe extend through the right heel, find some space in the front of the hip. Maybe sway the left knee. And then you're more than welcome to stay here or take an inhale. Exhale, supine twist, gently guiding the knee over to the right. Feel free to adjust the hips underneath you so they're stacked and the low back is supported. So keep the front ribs pulling in. Maybe place a block underneath the left knee. Maybe adjust the right shoulder blade underneath you. But feel this pull in opposite direction. Knee is drawing to the right as ribs gently draw to the left. Hips are stacked at the middle. One more breath. Soften with the exhale. And then take your time, slowly come back to center. And then option to pull the right knee to meet the left. Give yourself a big squeeze, a big hug. Thank yourself for being here. Big inhale. And then releasing into Shavasana, corpse pose, taking up space. Arms and the legs can go long. Maybe draw the shoulder blades underneath you. Maybe place your blocks underneath the knees, or you can roll up a blanket. But find any supported position here. Feel the ground underneath you, supporting you, giving the body permission to relax, to let go. And then maybe for the next few moments, connecting with the breath, or maybe coming back to your intention, coming back to that phrase of letting go. So as you inhale, you can always say to yourself mentally, let. As you exhale, saying to yourself mentally, go. Or you could just sit back and be aware. And I like to kind of think about letting the layers kind of peel off of the body, letting go of the tightness, the tension, the thoughts, any of those things that may be holding me back. So for the next minutes, take these final moments to just be. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, but to be right here with this breath. And then if you have more time today, you're more than welcome to stay. But if you are ready, slowly start to deepen the breath.
And then start to reawaken the body, wiggle the fingers, the toes, find any slow organic movements. And then maybe start to make the movements a little bit bigger, find a nice full body stretch. And then you can bend the legs, maybe knees come to the chest, but you can rock to your favorite side for fetal pose, maybe staying there, or gently pressing yourself up to a seat, Sukhasana, any comfortable seated position. Eyes can be open or closed, hands can be on the thighs, maybe hands come to the heart center, Anjali Mudra. Gently bowing the head to the heart, acknowledging your time spent here. And then always an option to take your intention or anything you cultivated here on your mat with you off your mat. Maybe being a little more aware of our thoughts, a little more aware of the things that we do, and seeing if it serves us. And if it doesn't, giving yourself permission to let it go. Take a breath, deep inhale, biggest one yet. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And I thank each and every one of you for being here. I thank the beautiful practice of yoga and Pilates and all of my teachers, known and unknown. And from my heart to yours, with so much gratitude, I bow. Thank you, thank you.